up on News 3 live at 4, could student athletes be paid based on their likeness? We talk with a WIU official about what this could mean for possible Title IX issues straight ahead.
Plus, it's severe weather season. Hear what you need to know to keep you and your family safe.
And a local woman is hoping to bring people together by making special dishes. Her story on culture and food and more news right now on News 3 live at 4.
Live from Saline Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Lindsay Mock.
And I'm Riley Matthews. Student athletes at WIU may soon receive compensation. Our Matt Reed learned more about the contracts that could be introduced.
There have been recent talks about paying student athletes with name, image, and likeness contracts. One concern is the ability to be in compliance with Title IX gender equality rules.
If students are being recruited to use their NILs as brand ambassadors, technically the college isn't paying them. Because we are not the ones providing the income, it shouldn't matter to Title IX. But I also know that it will eventually. There will be some sort of litigation. Someone will sue a university some point and say there are more opportunities for male athletes than there are female.
In a survey by the Associated Press that was sent out to 99 athletic directors, one AD wrote, "Sharing revenue with student athletes is not feasible. That only works if universities are then absolved of Title IX requirements." I think they're on to something, but I also think that might be an easy way out by saying if you absolve us of this responsibility, we'll be fine. I don't think we should ever be absolved of that responsibility. It is our responsibility as educators to make sure that all genders are represented in our colleges. In a survey of 70 college athletes conducted by News 3, 40 responses were used. 55% were male and 45% were female. When asked if student athletes should be paid, 65% said yes, 28% said no, and 7% said they were unsure. When asked if NIL contracts will affect Title IX, 53% of the participants said yes, 30% said no, and 17% said they were unsure. Prior to the story, News 3 reached out to the WIU athletic director, but they were unable to schedule an interview. In Macomb, reporting for News 3, I'm Mike Reed.
More than a year after Governor J.B. Pritzker legalized recreational marijuana in the state of Illinois, a dispensary has come to town. Nearly 2 months after the announcement of the dispensary's opening in Macomb, Windy City Cannabis opened its doors today. Dozens gathered outside at the ribbon-cutting ceremony, and Macomb officially welcomed its first dispensary. The Macomb store is the 5th Windy City Cannabis location and is expected to promote economic growth, including full and part-time jobs, and sales tax revenue for the city.
In other news, you are invited to ask questions and share ideas at a town hall meeting with WIU's president. Community members are encouraged to hear from President Guaiyu Wang about his vision and plans for Western. The meeting will be held April 20th from 5 to 6 p.m. over Zoom. Wang will also focus how Western will work with communities around the area. Go to WIU's website for more information to register for the meeting.
Along with the spring season comes severe weather conditions. Here are some tips to stay safe.
Whenever we hear that, we think of this.
But we are in a severe thunderstorm warning.
Severe weather season has begun across the United States and can have a big impact on those affected by it.
So there's a lot of things that we can do, and one of those is prepare, have a plan of where to go in case of severe weather.
And you want to get to the lowest floor of your home, such as a basement. That's where you're the safest. However, if you're unable to do that, then an interior bathroom or closet is the next safest option.
It's also a good idea to wear sturdy shoes and bring along a heavy blanket or mattress to cover yourself in case of flying debris and broken glass, as well as a flashlight. And part of the warning process is tornado sirens. They have been used for a long time to indicate there is a threat of severe weather and you need to take shelter immediately.
The standard is that we have to have at least 70 mile an hour wind and Gulf-size hail.
And although these tornado sirens, like the one behind me, play an important role in the warning process, Rodriguez says that these sirens don't always go off when there are destructive storms.
We have seen some of the catastrophic events that they're less than 70 miles an hour.
Rodriguez says the best way to stay up to date on severe weather is a weather radio and alerts that come to people's cell phones. He also said during days where severe weather is likely, those who could possibly be affected should stay updated throughout the day on when severe weather could hit.
Social media is becoming another way to maintain situation awareness. We rely a lot in postings on our social media, putting those informations, hey, be aware by this day something might happen.
All to keep people safe when severe weather strikes. For News 3, I'm Kason Fergs.
And new legislation could be on the way to help Illinois hotels recover from COVID-19. On the list of businesses that are struggling to get back on their feet from the COVID-19 pandemic, the hotel industry is near the top. President and CEO of the Illinois Hotel and Lodging Association, Michael Jacobson, says hotels in Illinois have faced an 80% drop in revenue from the pandemic closures. Jacobson says Illinois also lost a lot of business because of the border states like Indiana, Wisconsin, and Missouri opening up more quickly. State legislators are pushing a hotel job recovery program worth $250 million in grant funding. This would allow hotels to rehire staff laid off during the pandemic.
After the break, Kayla Henry will join us for a local update on COVID-19. We'll be right back.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 is back in a moment.
Rooted in teaching tradition, the desire to impact lives through education marks our Western identity. We believe every student with the hope to succeed deserves a chance at our institution. We're invested in honing each student's individual strengths to turn that hope into promise. Our commitment shows in everything that we do. It guides our faculty with empathy. It grows our students with courage. It moves each of us with purpose. In Macomb and Quad Cities, all walks of life meet to share cultures, ideas, and aspirations. Together, our students welcome new perspectives, helping them bring true value wherever they go next. Whatever the next challenge or change we face, our fighting spirit strengthens and evolves. With fortitude, we remain devoted to our vision. Brave and loyal, we stand as Leathernecks. For our students, for our region, for our state, and beyond. And when we stand together, we stand up for what matters, going forth as one. And that unity takes us far beyond what we've ever imagined.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
Welcome back. I'm Kayla Henry. In today's COVID-19 update, the university is still reporting low numbers of COVID cases on campus. WIU is currently reporting 2 active cases for a total of 38 positive cases this semester. For the first time this semester, the university's quarantine use is currently at 0%, while its positivity rate sits at 1%. The university also continues to administer vaccines here on campus. A first dose Moderna vaccine clinic took place yesterday and will run today until 6 p.m. at the Rec Center. The clinic is open to WIU students in the campus community and is accepting walk-ins. Also related to COVID-19, students should check their school email for possible free grant money during the pandemic. Contact WIU's Financial Aid Office for more. A WIU sororities charter was revoked after a complaint in early March about policy violations. The complaint concerns violations in October of hazing prevention, alcohol, and controlled substance policies. Alpha Sigma Tau National Council voted on April 6 to shut down its Alpha Epsilon chapter at WIU. An individual filed a complaint on March 3rd of this year after the policy violations in October 2020. WIU officials said the Office of Public Safety, the Office of Student Engagement, and the National Council all conducted investigations. Now, no one may conduct any business related to the chapter on campus. WIU said the university has a zero-tolerance hazing policy, and the National Council said they are taking direct action against those accused of policy violations. Those individuals have the opportunity to provide a written response to the allegations by April 19th. WIU said no criminal charges have been filed and that any potential sanctions against those violating the school's code of conduct will depend on the resulting judicial review. In studio, reporting for News 3, I'm Kayla Henry.
Illinois is moving forward with the next step for WIU's Center for Performing Arts. A design firm was announced for the project. Last year, the state issued $8.9 million for the center. Construction is slated for early 2022 and it is expected to open in 2024. After recent calls to end the Asian American hate crimes, and the United States co-owner of a Macomb restaurant shared her experience in the community, our Kennedy Williams sat down with her to learn her story.
We have to start seeing past the hate.
Loving one another.
We should all be colorblind. It should matter what's inside here. It should matter what's in our heart.
48-year-old Tammy Yates is a co-owner of Chubby's Restaurant in Macomb, and she says the country must find a way to bring back the golden rule.
Treat people the way you want to be treated. You know, that's the golden rule. And I feel like the golden rule's been lost.
Something that her mom instilled in her at a young age.
She just was always a hard worker. She did a lot of doubles when I was growing up.
But Yates' resilience was tested on November 22nd, 2020. Her mom died after losing a battle to the coronavirus.
When it happened, it was, do we just fold and be done?
Yates thought about her mom, which motivated her to do more.
My mom was such a fighter her whole life. I know my mom would not have wanted me to quit.
And after a rise of hate crimes against Asian Americans across the country, it's inspired Yates to create what she calls special dinner bowls to build culture here in Macomb.
So the first one we did was the red cooked beef noodles, and I think we sold 131 bowls of it between 4 and 7, and it just was amazing.
Yates says she was nervous about how people would respond because authentic Chinese food had never been sold in Macomb.
I think everybody liked it. At least the reviews that we got, everybody really liked it.
It's a creation that she hopes will embrace diversity.
We all have the choice to be kind, and I just feel like that's what we need to do as a world.
In Macomb, reporting for News 3, I'm Kennedy Williams.
WIU joins the nation recognizing April as Minority Health Month, which is dedicated to focusing on health issues that affect minority communities. WIU's Minority Health Committee announced several virtual events to take place throughout April, which will focus on topics such as mental health, the LGBTQ community, and COVID-19. Chair of the committee, Lorette Oden, and WIU President Guiyu Wong discussed the importance of these issues.
The theme for this year is Vaccine Ready, which is very fitting for the current times that we are living in right now. The events for the month include presentations, panel discussions, and webinars.
We must come together to ensure action to end these disparities. And our educational and academic programs are a start.
And a local organization is hosting events in honor of Child Abuse Prevention Month. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and the WIRC in Macomb has been putting on events to spread the word not only for the kids, but for those close to them as well.
These crimes don't just affect the survivors, it affects all of their loved ones and all the people that care about them as well.
In the U.S., it is estimated that 1 in 7 children have experienced some form of abuse or neglect in the past year. 76% of the perpetrators were parents of the survivors. The pandemic has not helped these numbers.
Unfortunately, during the pandemic, the rates of abuse are going up because survivors are in close, prolonged contact with their abusers, especially children.
And you don't need to be a professional to help survivors of child abuse. There are simple ways that you can make a big impact on them.
Start by believing whenever someone discloses that they've experienced abuse.
For more information on the support in the community, you can visit our website, news3wiu.com. In Macomb, reporting for News 3, I'm Lindsay Mock.
Well, a rather chilly day out there as we've got some gusty winds coming out of the north. We do have some sunshine starting to peek out from behind the clouds. But mild temperatures are in store for your weekend. My full forecast is next.
Western Illinois University is here to serve your future. Large enough to provide opportunities, small enough to connect you to them. Your potential is our purpose. Explore your talents in a place you belong. Western Illinois University is here to serve your future. Large enough to provide opportunities, small enough to connect you to them. You are unique, and we are committed to you. Become the future you at WIU Quad Cities.
Welcome back. And in the light of severe weather preparedness, as we've talked a little bit about today, we're going to dive in a little more between the difference of warnings versus watches. So on your screen now, you can see I've actually broken down a little bit what the difference is between a watch and a warning. Watches are typically a duration of several hours. They cover a large section of states, and these are put out, of course, hours before a very advanced notice. And this basically means in terms of action, you need to have a plan that there's the possibility of severe weather that day. Now, compared to warnings, that's when severe weather is an imminent threat. 20 minutes to an hour is usually the duration of those warnings, and they cover smaller areas, usually just a certain amount of counties, and the advance notice in that really is just minutes in terms of whether or not radar is indicating rotation or that there's actual tornado on the ground. Now, around here, obviously no severe weather to talk of course, for us, but however, we do have some chilly temperatures out there right now, 52 only on the board there, and that's because we got some actually brisk winds out of the northeast at around 12 miles an hour there. And what we're tracking throughout the weekend here is we're going to have some limited rain chances. Saturday is going to be the possibility where we could see a nice little pop-up shower there throughout the day, but not any crazy amounts. Temperatures, though, are going to get closer to average, though, for a weekend. It's going to be a good-looking day on Sunday and Monday heading into next week. And there's that S word, snow. Yeah, I have to talk about it a little bit because I don't want to not say it, and then it happens. Possibility of some snow, actually, for your Tuesday morning. Surface map showing, and that is that system right there located out in Colorado and over the Rocky Mountain area. That's going to be the system that comes in and possibly gives us a little bit of snow here. But right now, high pressure settled over much of the area. And you can see we don't have anything on our radar. But we'll go over to future radar now and track this out a little bit better for you now. So there's Saturday, and that just shows a little bit. And here, we'll go back through this loop as we're going to see the snow move in there on Tuesday. But Saturday, this particular model is actually being a little more, it's overemphasizing the rain on Saturday there. I don't think it's going to be that much. No washout by any means. But that snow is eventually going to start to move its way on in, and it could leave a good dusting and amount of some wet, heavy snow as we have temperatures close to freezing that day. Tonight, though, around there, a chilly night out there. No frost advisory like we've had the last couple of nights. However, if you've got some plants out there, you are going to want to cover them up or bring them inside. Tomorrow, though, much nicer, getting closer to average for this time of the year. A couple of our eastern cities actually might get up into the 60s, but 58 in Beardstown, 58 over there in Quincy, and 56 over there in Burlington. Tonight here in Macomb, of course, Partly cloudy skies, a little bit of a frost. You might, like I said, take those plants if you need to. Some of them delicate plants will not. Low of 37, winds will die off a little bit to 8 miles an hour out of the north. And then for tomorrow, a high of 56, mostly cloudy skies. It's going to be much better than what it is today. Our 7-day now, as we check and take a look here. Saturday's looking really nice. We're at the dodge some rain showers or raindrops throughout the day, but Sunday's looking like a great day. You know, take your plans outside, enjoy the weather, getting close to 60. Monday's even better, mostly sunny skies, 64. Make some plans outside, but there's Tuesday, of course. Those early snowflakes could come into play as we head into the early next week. That's a look at your latest forecast. Coming up next, Chris Bean breaks down all the news in sports. Live at 4, we'll be back in a moment.
We are Western Illinois University, and we are amazing.
On Fridays, we wear purple.
We are home to professional athletes and actors,
Lawmakers, CEOs, a civil rights leader, and a 3-star general, plus over 100,000 other impressive alumni.
Our programs are mighty. Our law enforcement program is the largest in the state of Illinois and is known internationally.
Supply chain management boasts a nearly 100% job placement rating.
And cornfields might surround us, but we have a fine arts program that can rival any large city.
It's okay to take courses in wine tasting, wedding planning,
scuba diving, grain drying, Renaissance art, engineering computational methods, or advanced federal taxation.
Sometimes our classes even take us to Disney World.
The Apostle Islands, Greece, France, all around the world.
For fun, we spray paint a bulldog statue, race cardboard boats, and shave our heads and dance all night to raise money for charities.
Not only do we paint the paws before homecoming, but we show our love for our mighty mascot, Colonel Rock, with painted statues all over town.
Sometimes we play volleyball with a giant ping ball, and sometimes we play in the mud.
It's totally normal to look at our res hall windows and see a hot air balloon floating by.
Or experience all 4 seasons in one day.
Hey alumni, jump on that Amtrak from Chicago or St. Louis or anywhere in between.
And come back to get a horseshoe,
listen to the award-winning Jazz Studio Orchestra,
or tailgate before a D1 game.
Not every school can say they started the 4-year cost guarantee program
and have a second campus on the banks of the mighty Mississippi.
We are Western Illinois University.
And we are the Leathernecks.
Welcome back. I'm Chris Bean. Finishing his first year as head coach, Rob Jeter talked with reporter Nolan Taylor about his experience coaching in the midst of a pandemic with almost a whole new team.
Western Illinois hired Rob Jeter on March 30th of 2020. Coach Jeter has worked in numerous places as an assistant coach and one time as a head coach before coming here to Western Illinois. One major influence for Jeter is Bo Ryan. He was Jeter's coach in Platteville. Then they worked together coaching also at Platteville. Later down the road, Jeter followed Ryan to the University of Wisconsin.
He saw something in me and asked me if I ever thought about coaching. And at the time, believe it or not, I had no idea. I'm like, nah, I'm going to make millions in business, right? And he said to me, well, and this was when I was a senior in college. He said, well, if I ever have a position on my staff, I'm going to ask you to join.
Choosing Western was not a hard choice for Coach. He liked coming to a place that made him and his family feel welcome.
But for me, I've always chose places based on the people and like the feeling I get when I'm around the people, because that's so important. If we're going to move families and join communities, you want to make sure that you feel accepted, wanted, you feel like you belong, or you can fit in. And I definitely felt that.
The basketball team went 7-15 in this past season with almost an entirely whole new team from the previous year.
A little easier to deal with because now everyone coming in, it's a fresh start for all of us. I think a lot of times if you inherit certain guys, there's a certain order to what was left behind.
Coach Jeter had a lot to say about his vision for the future of Leatherneck basketball.
First of all, I think we're building on the standards that we've laid this year, right? We always talk about faith, total trust in what we're doing, trust in each other. We have to have that family, where we have this unbreakable bond between our players and our staff. and the things that we're trying to accomplish. Those things are very important.
To learn more about Coach Jeter, go to goleathernecks.com. In Macomb, reporting for NEWS3, I'm Nolan Taylor.
The WIU baseball team canceled its weekend series at South Dakota State due to COVID-19 protocols that involved the athletes, coaches, and staff. The Leathernecks will be back in action in 2 weeks when they travel to Omaha to take on the Mavericks for a 4-game set. You don't have to be an athlete to participate in the Leatherneck Games. We have more on the competition starting Monday.
The Western Illinois University Rec Center is hosting their first ever Leatherneck Games on Monday, April 19th, and will go through Friday, April 23rd.
I've been thinking about something like this for a while. I'd actually talked about this with a previous grad assistant that I'd had before the one I currently have. It's something that's been kind of swimming around in my head because we're always looking for ways to offer new, fun ways for the students to be competitive.
Thomas said there has been a challenge to get women to come and compete in hopes this year will draw more attention to the female competitors.
There just seems to be a level of discomfort, like they just don't want to put themselves out there in front of people like that. So maybe it just has to run through one time so they can see what it is, how it goes, and see the few females that are entered, how they do.
For more information about the games, go to the campus recreation page at wiu.edu. In Macomb, reporting for NEWS3, I'm Mike Reed.
That's sports. Final word is next.
Join the Leatherneck Club today and help the Leathernecks march on. Help us reach 800 members by June of 2021 while supporting nearly 400 WIU student athletes. The need is greater than ever as we navigate the challenges of COVID-19, and membership has its perks like preferred parking, game recognition, and much more. Make your gift online at wiu.edu/leathernecksmarchon or call 309-298-1190.
At Western Illinois University, you will explore your talents in a place where you belong. No matter where you come from, no matter what you want to do, we believe in where your potential will take you. Learn more at wiu.edu.
One look.
Taking me home, bring me back to solid ground. Taking me home, bring me back to solid ground. Taking me home, bring me back. I can hear the sound.
One local restaurant is being recognized for serving the community for 25 years. In 1996, Lisa Ward opened Magnolia's Restaurant and Catering and has been serving ever since.
Magnolia's received a plaque from Macomb's mayor, Mike Inman, commemorating the restaurant's quarter-century anniversary. Macomb Downtown Development also recognized the restaurant as a historic downtown legacy business. Now let's send it over to Kason.
That's all for us today.
But we are online all the time.
Stay up to date with us, News3 on news3wiu.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
From all of us at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.